count on. KOMU 8 News starts now.
And they have a different game plan over there. I'm sad that some senators use things as hostages, if you will. I think they're kind of quite terrorist, if you will.
The 2023 legislative session is in its final half hour, and while the House has made progress, things haven't moved so smoothly in the Senate. Good evening, everyone. I'm Evie Allen. Thanks so much for joining us. Over the last 4 months, lawmakers passed the budget that includes money to expand I-70 to 3 lanes across the state. They also passed legislation that will prevent minors from receiving gender-affirming care, as well as a bill barring transgender girls and women from competing with female sports teams. Lawmakers got to close approving sports gambling for the state, but the effort fell short. KMUH's Siobhan Harms has been at the Capitol all day, where the House passed more bills, including a massive health care bill. She's live with more on what today has been like and what this new legislation would do. Siobhan.
Evie, lawmakers have until 6 tonight to get everything done. And while the Senate stalled for most of the day, the House of Representatives was able to push a few bills through, and now they're at Governor Parson awaiting a signature. One of those bills modifies provisions related to Missouri health care. The bill has several notable components. It ends the practice of non-consensual pelvic exams on unconscious patients. It amends how first responders can respond to opioid overdoses and establishes health awareness days. But what drew comment from representatives on both sides of the aisle were the emergency clauses within the bill. A Democratic representative commented on the clause to expand Medicaid coverage for postpartum care. Low-income pregnant women will now receive care throughout their pregnancy, and that care will extend up to a year after they give birth. And a Republican representative commented in support of the clause to establish more medical residency positions in the state. The hope is that will bring more doctors to Missouri.
I do believe that it's an absolute emergency that we protect Missouri women.
It is truly an emergency, or we'll be a year behind. So I'd appreciate everybody's support on this. And just remember, this could be your doctor that will save your kid.
The bill was passed with those emergency clauses. And again, the Senate and the House have until 6 tonight to wrap up their business. I'll be back here at 6 with an update. Live at the Capitol, Siobhan Harms, KOMU 8 News.
Coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News starts now.
Well, it's been another frigid day here in mid-Missouri as we head into the weekend. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Taylor Freeman.
And I'm Evie Allen. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's bring in First Alert weathercaster Emmy Chirpik. So, Emmy, is there any end in sight to this cold?
Luckily, guys, there is an end in sight.
Coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News starts with breaking news.
We have breaking news from MU's campus, a fire and possible explosion at the MU Medical School. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Taylor Freeman. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's go straight to KOMU 8's Jackson Valenti, who's outside of the School of Medicine, where you can see it's still a very active scene out there. What's it like, Jackson?
Yeah, Taylor, there's still a fire crew here. Earlier today, there's probably 10 fire crews. They've been here for about 5 hours now. Now, the fire happened inside the School of Medicine in a lab that wasn't currently in use on the 7th floor. We'll continue to update you on air and online at KOMU.com as we get more information. Reporting live in Columbia, Jackson Valenti, KOMU 8 News.
All right, thanks, Jackson. In national news, a verdict is in for former President Donald Trump's defamation case. The jury is awarding E. Jean Carroll $83.3 million in damages. Last year, a jury found Trump liable for sexually abusing Carroll in a New York department store in the 1990s and defaming her after she wrote about the incident. The current trial only focused on the damages Trump will have to pay for defaming Carroll. The jury came to a verdict in less than 3 hours of deliberation. Trump stormed out of the closing arguments, leaving the courtroom while the attorney representing Carroll spoke.
It's the greatest job on earth. I enjoyed it. It was the happiest 8 years of my life.
Tonight, Missourians, U.S. officials, and family members mourn the loss of former U.S. Senator Gene Carnahan. Good evening, everybody. I'm Evie Allen. Thanks so much for joining us. Carnahan was the first woman to represent Missouri in the U.S. Senate after she was appointed to replace her husband, Mel Carnahan, following his death in 2000. KMUA's Paige Porter tells us more about Carnahan and her legacy. Paige. Well, we have an update to a helicopter crash in Jefferson City. Here's a look at where the helicopter crashed. A new report from the Federal Aviation Administration says the aircraft began spinning uncontrollably and landed hard in the grass. They also report the helicopter is owned by Icarus Aviation, a flight school based out of the Jefferson City Memorial Airport. Nobody was hurt in the crash, and the Jefferson City Fire Department is investigating the cause.
Coverage you can count on. KOMU8 News Today starts now.
Good morning to you, Mid-Missouri. It is the first day of February. Much
We made
to
it.
Beth and Beth's excitement. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jordan Berger.
And I'm Beth Carlson. It's 4:30.
Let's go ahead and check in with First Alert meteorologist Beth Finello. Beth, start of a new month. January's over.
Yes, the year of January is over.
The year of January.
We've moved on.
How is February starting to look for us?
Not terrible.
Coverage you can count on. KOMU8 News starts now.
Tonight, the U.S. launched a series of strikes in Iraq and Syria in response to an Iranian-backed militant group's killing of 3 American soldiers. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Taylor Freeman.
And I'm Evie Allen. Thanks so much for joining us. Word of the attacks came just after the bodies of 3 American service members returned to the U.S. today. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest. Well, Columbia police have charged an 18-year-old suspect after a fatal shooting last night at a gas station.
The shooting took place at the fast lane off of West Boulevard and I-70 Drive Southwest. Seth Brinegar is accused of shooting and killing 33-year-old Corey Bilger from his car after a brief verbal altercation. According to court documents, Bilger was pumping gas at around 8:30 p.m. when the shooting happened. Security footage allegedly shows Brinegar pull up his vehicle behind Bilger's vehicle before exchanging words with him. Witnesses allegedly told police they heard Brinegar cuss at Bilger prior to firing his gun. Court documents say police found Brinegar in his vehicle with a pistol and spent casings. He's being held without bond at the Boone County Jail.
Starts now.
Bring them back home now.
Well, today was a day full of demonstrations in Jefferson City. Good evening, everyone. I'm Evie Allen. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. 2 different groups, each protesting opposing sides of the Israel-Palestine conflict, clashed at the Missouri State Capitol today. KMU8's Kate Devine is live in downtown Jefferson City and was at the protests. She has an update on the most recent action in the area. Kate.
Yes, Abby.
Florida residents encountered a couple of bear cubs who were a long way from home. An Okaloosa County deputy responded to a call about 2 bear cubs that did not resemble the state's native black bears. It turns out they're Kodiak cubs, which are native to Alaska. Kodiak bears are a subspecies of grizzly bear, but larger. Officials found that the bears belong to a, quote, self-proclaimed bear trainer, interesting, and they escaped from their enclosure.
Sure.
Self-proclaimed.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Do we have like another Tiger King series coming our way? I feel like
Sure.
a self-proclaimed bear trainer.
Great. I love these stories when people are like, yeah, that was my poisonous snake that's terrorizing the neighborhood.
Hey, at least someone says that's my poisonous snake so that they can get it away.
My exotic monkey got out. If you happen to see it, let me know. Like, what are you doing? What's the purpose?
Just stick with dogs and cats. That's good.
You can have a gecko if you want, but oh my gosh, what are you doing?
Up next, why the skyline of Los Angeles has some unexpected new designs.
Oh, but first you are taking a live look over the Columbia Regional Airport at 452. Stick around, we'll be right back.
Well, coming up, why you may see more movie stars here in Missouri in the future, and a look at how Missouri is cracking down on distracted driving. Still to come, one Columbia resident is spending hundreds to heat up his apartment. See why he's calling for help.
And later, what caused one plane to make an emergency landing in Florida?
Coming up, Illinois makes its decision on former President Donald Trump's ballot eligibility. And later, why college students may have to wait a little longer for financial aid.
And the Chiefs are getting ready to play in the Super Bowl in just over a week. Coming up, a look at how the big game is drawing big traffic for local businesses.
And we'll have the latest on the deadly plane crash in Florida, what officials are saying caused that crash.
and I'm really starting to feel like a broken record at this point. But as we head into the day tomorrow, we do have the potential for, again, some patchy areas of fog across mid-Missouri as you're getting ready to head out the door. May take a couple of extra minutes longer to get to where you need to be. If you are headed out on Saturday morning, I'll have a closer look at the rest of your Saturday ahead in just a few more minutes.
But first, this is a live look over downtown Columbia. This is KOMU 8 News at 5, coverage you can count on.
Coming up, some school districts are switching over to a 4-day schedule. What one study says is the difference, and how fans are looking to score their own big victory ahead of the Super Bowl.
Well, after the break, we'll tell you how MU is playing a part in creating a new treatment for cancer.
And many football fans are shopping for Super Bowl snacks this weekend, why buyers may experience a bigger hit to their wallet than expected.